Welcome back to Factorio and the Nullius mod for the community map. So I've been doing a lot of expansion work in the last few episodes on this small here to try and make more and more items. It's becoming a little bit of a mess, but I think it's manageable, and I think it's probably going to be more interesting for me at least than just doing it with robots anyway. Mishima actually got the robots, which I think is going to be my plan for now, because I did do the robotics tech some time ago. So under equipment I've got the different roboport stuff and I've got the robots. I just haven't been making them, except obviously these ones I start the game with. So I really want to get working on this. Now it's going to need a whole lot of stuff for making these. I'm probably going to start with just figuring out the robots, because even this, it needs turbines, it needs filters. I've got memory circuits, antennas, turbines I've not got, capacitors and aluminium sheets. That's the easy bit. So definitely going to be doing a lot more circuit related stuff, and I'm going to have to start with some fluid related stuff to actually get these turbines. So looking at the turbine, a standard turbine is basically a backup turbine, but I do need the insulated wire. And I'm starting to wonder if I should have made insulated wire on the bus, because I do seem to be needing that quite a few places. There's probably enough worth of doing it centralized. As for the backup turbine itself, this is relatively straightforward because I've got all of that stuff on the bus except the pipe. And I can probably get the pipe from... Actually, I've got pipe there and I've got pipe over there, so I've got choices for getting the pipes. In fact, you look around, I'm already making insulated wire in at least 3 different places. I'm making insulated wire here, I'm making insulated wire here, I'm making insulated wire here. So I think I will be putting it on the bus. I can probably put it on... Not sure I've got a spare belt there, but I can definitely put a new belt up here for it. So since I've got the belt with the inputs on it here anyway, I guess a good place to make insulated wire will be here for the time being. Maybe I'll change that at some point in the future. But then that's going to mean that the rubber can come down here, so I can basically just keep what I've got and not disturb it too much. We're going to put the where are the rods? No, I want the rubber to come through. That was it, rubber. So search for rubber, filter that, rubber on the left. Actually, very conveniently, since rubber's on that side, if I had an inserter here for the aluminium wire, which is basically before you insulate it, then they'll be on opposite sides. So that actually works out quite nicely if I just basically move that to there. That to there, I now have wire being made and put on the other side of the belt. Then basically just have a couple of those. Set those to, let's find insulated wire over there, so set those to wire. Then that'll be inputs there, outputs there. Get some power, and basically this will do the job. Tidy up some of the bits, get rid of this, put a splitter or something on here so that it goes to both places. I can move over a bit, and now I just need to go and find a place for it on the bus. So with all that new work on the basically the more for new production items, I did notice I was running a bit low on carbon dioxide for some of those chemical inputs. So I came over here because there's a lot of space down in the southeast and I can just pipe that away. The other thing I'm thinking is, so far I've just been throwing away all the nitrogen, but when I look at this, I've got these new recipes I've not really done anything with for compressed gases. Now I'm probably not going to do anything with the compressed hydrogen because I'm just going to leave that alone for the time being. But compressed nitrogen, so I can take the nitrogen that I was throwing away anyway, compress it, and then it has this turbine energy value. So if I take that compressed nitrogen and put it into a turbine, that will give power. So what I think I want to do is start here. So let's see how I work out this pipe. So it's something I'm doing a horizontal layout. So if there was, say, that, do something like that. I'll figure out about the nitrogen one in a second. Let's just see how this lines up. Do I have one over there still? Yep, so it's going to be the right hand one from that point of view. So actually if I copy paste it, it will show me. There you go, so that lines up on there. Then nitrogen, that's going to go there. So this time I'm not going to just vent it all, I'm just going to, I don't know, maybe I'll vent the surplus, but if I can, what I want to do is compress it all, and then I can turn it back into power when the wind power is a bit low. So let's build 5 of these to start with. That seems very straightforward. And they're going to all use this same pipe input. So basically same air filter layouts as before, so nothing too exceptional to show there. But what I will be doing is I'm going to take this nitrogen, like I said, and I don't want to waste it. So because the wind power might be up or it might be down at any given moment, we're going to run this with storage tanks. So this is going to do is to be pumping all the time into these. So this won't be compressed, this will just be stored. But now I've got the surge compressors, which I understand will work the same way as the surge electrolyzers. So if I put some of these down, I must make 4 of them with the resource I've got. Might make more later. I've not really done the maths on the numbers here, so I'll have to see. Well, I sort of spread that out between the 2 sets of tanks. So basically the idea here is that these are going to store up all the gas, but only when there's spare power. So only when the wind power is enough, otherwise they'll be idle. This will then be compressed gas on this pipe. So set the compression recipe on there. Then pump that into another set of tanks, and then these tanks will be storing compressed gas for later use. So probably have more of these, maybe 8 of them to start with. So these should fill up these tanks, and then pretty much the same as other turbines, so backup turbines in a row here. Only this time instead of steam they're going to be running on the compressed nitrogen. So I'm not actually sure if that makes a given turbine produce more or less. I think it's always the same, so actually no, I'm really not sure there. Is a turbine limited by its power amount, or is it limited by its gas amount? 240. That says max output 1. This is now saying max output 2.5, so yeah, I guess it scales with the fluids. So actually these turbines, they produce more power than the other turbines. That's kind of interesting. And then obviously just connect them all up to power. I'm actually short on wind power right now. Yes, I am. So these are going to run at the same time that these run at. So it's just a different way of doing power storage, which I think, since I've got the nitrogen anyway, so I'm already paying for all of these, then essentially I'm just paying for this. And it seemed to me like this is probably I honestly didn't do the math, but I'm assuming it's probably more cost effective than the entire setup over here in terms of power storage, assuming that you're actually doing this for a purpose and not just throwing away CO2. So I still really need to solve my chlorine issue, but I think what I'm going to do for the time being at least is I kind of want to use this all up anyway, so if I just reverse the direction of this belt, have some inserters go in the opposite direction, then I can gradually just use up this supply here of all this. And there's plenty of chlorine there as well, so not too worried about that. And actually I've got too much plastic right now at this moment. I think my issue right now is I probably should actually build more than just the 5 of those carbon dioxide. So since this is a nice layer with lots of space, then I don't actually have that much trouble here building that. What I'm going to do though is, since I've got lots of these now, and it's probably actually too much nitrogen, and that might back up eventually, I'm going to put chimneys on there. Now I think I need 1 chimney for every one of these, so that's going to be 1,000 total, because they produce like 90, so I think it's close enough. So it's probably going to just be like, that's going to be the easiest way. So 25% valve there means it's only going to go if this pipe does fill up. Now let's see what's getting stuck there. Output full on the CO2. I haven't actually got enough CO2 now. Looks like I have. Maybe what I should do as well, if I can get some more tanks. I'll use the old ones for the time being and then upgrade later. We'll actually put a little buffer here on the CO2, I think. So that's just going to be a couple of tanks like here, and then a pump on the input and a pump on the output. So see, I basically just moved the sortage over to hydrogen instead. So if I look at some of these aren't running continuously, you can see they've got the CO2 and they've not got the hydrogen. And am I short on power as well? Is this a problem? They are running, maybe I just need more of those. Yep, I think I need more backup turbines now. Why are they not running? I missed the power pole out. I'll go fix that. But yeah, I might actually need more backup turbines in general. So obviously these haven't really had a chance to build up the nitrogen. Could extend that, and I could put some more turbines on this, I'll have to see. But for the hydrogen just here, what I found to do is I'll try and get a pump out so I can basically empty the tanks a bit quicker. Okay, now the wind power picks up while I'm stood next to it. So I can put a pump there, move that down there, so that's going to help empty out the tanks quickly, so that basically it just provides more hydrogen over there when the tanks aren't completely full. And I think I made a mistake when I built this rubber, so I thought this was net positive on ethylene. I don't think it actually is looking at this. I think it might be Might be slightly net negative looking at that. So what I'm going to try and work out is the best way of doing this. Because I still want to give priority to this because otherwise it will bottleneck. It will just gridlock itself. So this has to get priority over this because otherwise these could get stuck. So I wonder if a valve can actually fill a pipe up more than the pipe would fill by itself. So if I put a one-way valve there, so this is 40%, can this actually fill up to 60% using this, I think is my question. Actually I will also just do the test over here where there's more supply. And the answer seems to be no, a one-way valve will not fully fill a pipe up of the next tier. It doesn't act like a pump. Well, I guess I'd be kind of cheating. I could always use an actual pump which would solve that problem. And I'm thinking that's the way to go. So this moves over one tile. Or maybe multiple tiles, we'll see. I don't even need that pole. I'm going to need that power pole, but it can go somewhere else. Let's say there. So if my surplus ethylene comes down here and is pumped, and then that is pumped into that pipe segment, because that's got a 40% limit and this has got a 60% limit, this should always give it priority, I believe. And I started getting stuck on nitrogen, so I think that's just because I was cheap on the pipe. What I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade the pipe at least as far as... I just have to upgrade all the pipe because I need to get them to actually fill the pipe up to 60. So I'm going to upgrade all the pipe on this nitrogen line. So I believe that has fixed the problem. So right now these aren't fully powered, although I might need to build some more of them anyway. So with that many refineries, a lot of the nitrogen is still being vented, but the refineries themselves do seem to still be running at full speed, which means they're producing plenty of CO2. Well, not plenty, but they're producing as much as they can right now, unless I extend it some more. Moving from one shortage to another, so hydrogen is now not enough for that stuff. So I don't really want to have to rebuild this. I've not got a great space there to expand, so what I actually can do is I can get these tier 2 ones, and especially going from 2 megawatts to 3.92 and crafting speed 1 to 2. So if I upgrade all of these here, I'm going to basically double my hydrogen output. So while waiting for that, I decided to extend out the graphite production as well. I've not actually got the hydrogen until they're finished building, but there's a very slow queue, unfortunately. So what I'm thinking is I cleared out some space here, I moved those tanks over. Now there's a sludge pipe there which is going to get in the way, so I might just have to leave those two out. So if I just turn that off for a second, put that there. I think I'll just forget about these two because that's going to get in the way. And I can get the water past like that. And I think that avoids any problems I would have due to that being in the way. Right, it seems today is going to be delay after delay on getting resources, so I still really do want to do the robots. Like, I do seriously want to do them, but things keep coming up. So, seems like I still don't have enough graphite with even this, which is somewhat limited by the hydrogen, which is somewhat limited by power. So I'm going to have to go and build a whole load more wind turbines, I guess, at some point. But also I'm thinking I'm just going to need more of these anyway, and I'm thinking I could have made this more compact in the first place, which could have been useful. So I can get enough resources, of course. So if I could do this a little bit more compact, I don't think I needed to leave those gaps there. So if I build, let's work this out 2 at a time, what I'm thinking is I can do that. Then that leaves me space there for the inserters. And probably that's actually helped a lot by these power poles, because these power poles can reach all the way across like so. So this one is running full speed, looks like roughly a full belt. So let's do 10 then. We'll do 10 because that's a nicer number than 11. And I kind of thought about this a few times. Like, it's so annoying, this ratio here. This 26 to 28 is just really horrible. So that is 14 per second, so basically if I have 10 of them and they do 14 each, that'll be 140 per second. And if I divide that by the 26 that this actually makes, that'll give me number of machines. And it's going to be 5.38, which like I said, it's not quite 1 to 2, it's not 1 to 1. But if I have 6 of them, then that does make that a little bit cheaper to build. So I've got water there. Now I do need to have the power pole there, so that's the downside of this. Unless I put the power pole could go here actually. So changing my design already. If the power pole goes there, that pipe can go there, and that's nice and out the way. Then these output water as well. So if they're there, I really wish I could do mirrored ones of those. I don't think I've got the tech yet. So perhaps we need to take out more vertical space, because obviously that's going to not work. But if I do it that way, then that will work. So water pipe there and there, I can link those together. Then 2 inputs there and there. Well, I can actually move these further apart. Yeah, that'll be neater. Changing my designs again. If I left a gap in between these, what that would let me do is put the water pipe like that. Then I would still need to make sure I don't accidentally connect those. Let's just get that out of the way for a second. So that connects there. That's not going to connect, but I can actually do that. If I do that, then I think that will connect all of them, because those are 3 spaces apart, so that can't miss both sides of the chemical plant. Just not possible. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to move this sludge pipe. I guess I'll move it over to this gap here. Go get all the resources, and I'll be back once it's done. So another distraction. I don't think I had enough iron, because a lot of iron's going into steel, which you can't see because there's no radar over there. But basically I just took that, put it over here, so basically just double this output. I actually put a balancer or anything on this, so it's extremely simple. And I think the only complicated part of this is going to be because I've got this coming up here, and then that going down there. But science by itself doesn't actually use up enough, I think, to use up the entire belt. So what I can do therefore is put that there. And this can just basically change direction, I think. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to move this box to here. So I can then put a splitter there, merge them there. And if I merge them this way, now they are both on the same side. It only looks like it was the wrong side because it's going in the opposite direction. So that keeps that nice and simple. Put a filter on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put quality on the left, because then what can happen is if this iron does back up, it can just get redirected to make steel, because I'm also short on steel. But I think I've got plenty of steel foundries here. I think they're just short on getting iron into them. So now I've fixed a bunch of the intermediate industries. Let's finally look at robots. Like I said before, it has been a couple of hours actually since I said I was going to do that, but we are cut out a lot of the stuff. So filter inserters, I have got memory inserters and antennas. That's circuit stuff, which I haven't even started on yet actually. I've got logic circuits, which are like normal decider circuits. That's the only one I've got. Then standard turbines, that's something I'm going to work on. And capacitors and aluminium I've already got. So standard turbines I think is something I want to do. So what I think I'll do is I'll start on that. Have I got space here? Kind of nice if this bauxite kind of go out the way, because otherwise I'm going to run out of space here. It has one out on the end here, so I can reclaim, not those ones, but I can reclaim that space. So you have to do a fair bit of the fluid. So to make the basic backup turbine, which makes the standard turbine, I've got the insulated wire on the belt somewhere, I think. I really wish I had radar coverage. It's on one of those up there from before. So the main bit here is going to be get the pipe, the motors and the iron down. So pipe I can take from either here or there, whichever one's more convenient. If I put that there, then there's space for an underground there. That leaves me space for that there, which can give me motors on a filter. And then these motors, that's going to come across here. Come over here and I'll build the turbines. Maybe I'll put it down here, because it looks like the turbines themselves are relatively straightforward. So I could do like 1 and 2. This is going to be for the basic ones. I'll figure out these Mark II ones. That is a lot of extra stuff later. Hopefully this aluminium will be kind of out the way by then. But for now it's backup turbine goes into standard turbine. So that bit will be easy. So I've got the motors. I think if I want more pipe I'll get it from here. Possibly with, kind of wish there was a medium inserter. Maybe I can, medium inserter, medium sewing machine. Maybe I can upgrade to that. So if I just put that there for a second so I can copy the recipe. So if that was there, the problem is just getting this here. This needs pipe as well. Actually, I can then actually get the pipe out quite conveniently as well, because I can put that there to remove the pipe. Make it a long inserter. That goes over there. Very nice. Just need to figure out this thing. This is for making those. Oh, it's to make chimneys for the furnaces. Sure, I can think of a way of doing this. So if that was to be moved back there a bit, that can then go there, and then that's fine. Let's just put it on the ground and put it in there. So pipe comes down here. On sheets and gears, I actually think make both things off of this belt. So I'm not sure if everything else down here is going to necessarily want them. So what I might do is actually just a foundry, isn't it? One foundry for these sheets. So I might just put that there and direct insert for the time being. So sheets and gears. Motors and pipes can come along there. So that's going to be inputs there and there. And then just linking this together. So that gets me the turbines. So very simple out for that once I actually got the resources to it. And that means that's one of my robot frame tasks done as well. So filter inserters I have, capacitors I have, turbines I have, sheets I have. So I need antennas and memory circuits, which I think I'm going to go do. In any space I've really got to do a whole circuit layout stuff is over there. That's going to be fairly in depth. And I can do the rest of the fluid stuff there maybe when I get around to it, but I don't need to do that right now. But over here, I think this is going to get complicated. So let's look at, I think it's on the logistics, yeah. So memory circuits need logic circuits need all of that stuff. I almost wish I'd put those on the bus actually. Then that uses both the logic circuits and the memory circuits. And then antennas use, oh, they just use their own stuff. What's red wire use? Red wire uses logic circuits. So logic circuits are the first thing I need to make. So let's just take one of these, put it somewhere fairly arbitrary. Where are the logic circuits? Oh, you can't make them with the bigger one, can you? You have to use the small one. Wishing more and more I could have maybe put these on the bus. But if I do it right at the top here, then it's easiest to replace it with the bus at a later date. So let's say somewhere like there. Logic circuits. I've got logic circuits over there, and I've got logic circuits over there. It's getting towards that. Use them in 3 or 4 different places, like milestone. So let's say inputs could be on there. Do any of these inputs line up with anything here? No, they don't. So looking at this, what I'm thinking I'll do for the wire is have the same machine here, because that can then make the aluminium wire, and something I want to figure out is lubricant stuff. That's why I want to do that today. That's another thing on the to-do list. So I'm going to need aluminium wads for that. Did anything else actually need wads? I think it didn't, did it? No, I'm going to actually put wads separately. So I'm going to put wads here, in fact, instead of doing that. So that should keep that a little bit tidier. And maybe at some point in the future I actually put the wads and the plates on the same belt. And then I'll just bring down the other 3 resources on here. So that's given me those, and I guess actually since this is the start of the bus anyway, I could conceivably make this the one and only place to produce them going forward. So let's say I build some more of those, then leave a gap for whatever routing that needs before I move on to the next thing, which I think was memory circuits. That's going to need capacitors, so I can bring capacitors down here somewhere. We'll say there for now. Then I guess I need another small assembler. Make sure it has power, that would be useful. So more small assemblers for arithmetic memory circuits, that's it. So that's going to need to have access to that. I think I'm going to need more than one of those. That's 6 seconds, that makes 4. So it makes 4, that's not too bad. So it can take that and that as input. What else did it need? Nothing. Well, that makes that one simple, so I can just output over there for now. So looking at the next one, which is the arithmetic circuit, that does need the wire, so that can actually come there, because I had the wire anyway. So then that can get wire, and it can get logic units, and it can get memory, and it can put them over there maybe out the way. What do I need for antennas? So I was trying to figure out in a second. Let's figure out this one. So I need insulated wire. Where can I put insulated wire? It's going to be out the way. It's actually up here by the batteries. Let's put it on the same one as the batteries. In fact, I just realised that needs the wads from here. So do need to get the wads past this slot somehow. So nothing else is using this side of this belt at this time. So the only issue then is that's on the wrong side. Can't really easily change what side that comes down on, so what I think I'll do is do that there so it side loads. That'll provide those, so then red wire. Maybe I should let's do that here, I think that's more out the way. If I do that there but put that there with a long hand inserter, that can actually reach across. That can underground. I'm going to have to get some more underground belts apparently, but that gives me my red wire and that gives me my green wire. So that keeps those two nice and simple. And working out these antennas here, so actually they're really slow to make. Maybe I should use the faster machine for those. And it gives me a little bit more layout flexibility as well, so that could be useful. So antennas there, they're going to need these red circuits, which I can insert across when I put it, they will have power. It's going to need the batteries from, let's not stand in the way, batteries from that, aluminium wads from that. It doesn't need those, it needs rubber. I guess I'll just have to bring rubber in specially. Actually, I've got rubber here, haven't I? Yeah, I guess what I could do is if I put another filter down there, for the time being I can just take the rubber off the end of there. So that gets me antennas which are needed for the robots. I also have the memory circuits I needed for the robots. And actually not need the arithmetic things. Well, I've got them ready if I do need them. But for now that means antennas and memory circuits. Maybe do them down, say, here. This seems roughly out the way. So that's going to be there. They also need aluminium sheets, which I can make with a foundry. So yeah, one foundry there. So that's going to take from this belt to put onto this belt. I guess I can move these over a little bit. So that takes care of that input. Also going to need the stuff from down there, the turbines. I can get the batteries off of there. Those two. I need to get the inserters over from there. That should be not too much trouble. And I think that covers it. So that can be the aluminium sheets. This can be the inserters and the turbines. I can bring them across here. Getting a bit complicated to route stuff across here actually. I'm probably going to have loads and loads of troubles when I come to the next tier of inserters. Well, in fact, the next tier of anything, because I haven't looked what the next tier needs. And there's not really a huge amount of space left to actually build the next tier in. Could be an issue. Was it standard or regular turbines? It was standard. Standard or regular? Standard or backup. That's the right term. Let's put a long hand inserter there. That can take from that box, put them over there. And if that's going to put them on that side, I need these to be on the opposite side. What side's that going to be? That's going to be the opposite side. Nice. So for the antennas and the memory circuits, let's go side load it on there. Can maybe move that about a bit in the future. And then batteries I want here. Actually going to put the batteries. I need to actually have an output here somewhere, so I want to use that as output. So the batteries, if they could come on the right hand side of this belt, which is, yep, it's the opposite of where they are right now. Bit unfortunate, so I'm going to have to change something there. But yeah, the batteries I'm going to put here. Actually, let's go do them with a filter for now until I decide what to do. So, that's how many batteries are there? Capacitors, have to search for the right thing or it won't find them. So they're going to come along there, come down there. And then I guess I can build these in pairs really. So that's going to be outputs there and then two more inputs. Power poles can go opposite, so since they build in pairs so nicely, I guess I'll have 4 of these. And it does seem I have got everything correct, just fixed the power poles slightly, but they are working. So I now have robot frames. What do I need to do to make the robot frames into actual robots? So I need a logic circuit, which I've got, or a repair pack, which I have somewhere, I think. And I need, that's where I was looking at the arithmetic circuit. So I need the arithmetic circuit, and I do need to automate small storage chests, which I also need for making the passive dividers I want anyway. So that's going to be arithmetic circuit and antenna. So I'm going to definitely want these arithmetic circuits over somewhere. Question is, can I work out a tidy way of doing this? Also, I need the boxes from there, but the boxes are over there anyway. So I can bring the relevant chest over, and then I'll have the arithmetic circuit here somewhere. So that can go in, that can go in, and antenna can come in from there, and then I can do something with them. So this is just adding a red wire to this. So if I can get these out of here somewhere, maybe put them there, can't I, with the long inserter. Got the red wire up here, so bit of a mess, but if I can get the red wire down, put another inserter somewhere. Where would this machine go then? Yeah, machine can go there, so that works for converting passives, well no, convert storages into passives. So that goes there. Did I limit that? Yes I did, that's good. So that goes there, does that. That little bit of belt just moves them across because the inserters can't reach that far. And why are these broken? I actually need a lot more of these batteries to be made. I think I've only got one thing making them. Yeah, I've only got this one foundry making them. That's probably not enough. Anyway, so now I've got those. So let's just check this again. So if I do this here. So I now have my arithmetic circuits. And which are... Where are they? They're on here, aren't they actually? I mixed them with... No, they shouldn't be on there. They're on here. I wonder if I could have got that output. Well, I could get an output from there, can't I? So the only issue then is I really want these to be on the other side. Which I think I can do. If I do that, then that'll put them on the close side. Then when I do that, I'll have them on opposite sides. So that will work out nicely. Then repair packs. I was actually making repair packs over here. I had already done that bit, and I realised I needed carbide and stuff as well, so I don't really want to have to mess with that right now. So taking these ones here should be fine. I can upgrade that assembler for speed if that's an issue. And they're getting its logic circuits from over there, but it's fine having a little bit of duplication. I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. So all I need to do is get that out, and what I'm thinking actually is I've got this belt here I just put in for those steel chests. So if I do something like that, now it's on the wrong side, but if I do this, because this could go here just as easily, then that is on the right side, so that's going to come through, and that just means I need to put repair packs on the bottom edge of this if I can. Which actually, that's going to be the issue, isn't it? Yeah. No, I think I need a different plan. Well, actually, if I keep that, slightly less tidy, but I can just have that and that at the same time. Seeing if I can change this a bit to be more compact. So I think that achieves the same thing I had before for the capacitors coming down there. I didn't need the capacitors for any of those. That belt already should have everything I need once those start getting made in more quantity. Then I just need to combine this belt of logic circuits with that belt of repair packs, so I can do that like that. So in fact I actually move that over one tile there, and then they can get the robots with long inserters and they can get their other stuff with the closer ones. What's the time on one of those? 5 seconds. Potentially I want more than one of those, but I think I'm not progressing through the game quickly enough to actually need more than one of those. And I'm just going to do whichever one's first actually. That'll be easier for the belts. So this is the one that wants, yeah, happened to actually be the white one. So that's that one. And then second one's going to come there. Power pole probably actually needs to be somewhere else. I have to think about that. I can go there, it's got enough range. And I think actually the reason for that, actually I'm going to change this round. And the reason for that is because then that can do that. And that will provide that access to its resources. Make that a long one. Is that a long one or not? I'm confused. It didn't look like it. So that goes there. Then the other belts can come in there. If I'm going to regret this because that's a total disaster zone, I might go quietly rebuild it because as well as all of that, I have actually still got to figure out this other stuff. So I need to make these chargers and relays in order to make the actual roboports themselves. And that's all going to need, like I need storage chests for that. I need capacitors, antennas. It's going to be tricky to get some of those things, I think. But let's just start by planning it out. So we're going to have those, we're going to have those. And it's going to eventually feed into those. Small power pole 2s, that's irritating because I think that's another multi-step process. Yes, it needs aluminium rods, it needs... I need so much stuff, I might as well set up a power cable thing over here somewhere. I have got aluminium rods over there though, so I can do it. Let's see what I'm going to need. So, I know a sewing machine soon as well, so I'm going to need those to make those. So plastic, iron and iron, so I can bring the plastic and iron down. And then that'll be a foundry to make the cable for it. One foundry. That can get the aluminium rods and the insulated wire from here. And unfortunately I didn't put them on the same conveyor belt. So in terms of filter inserters, that would be... because it has to actually come up here, I need to move it up further north because it's never going to fit. Maybe as far north as that, which I guess keeps you out of the way of the circuit stuff at least. So we're going to have one for aluminium and one for insulated. Okay, so that should be power poles made. I'll worry about other power poles at some future time. For now, the important thing is I'll have power pole 2s to come down here and go to one of those. So it's like they both want speakers, so I can actually bring speakers across here fairly easily. So that's just going to be a couple of belts there. That'll bring them both speakers. And that's the one that wanted the wire, so that can come in. Oh, not the wire, the cables. So I still need to bring capacitors across for this one. And then I need memory circuits and logic circuits for that one. Do I put those on the same belt? No, because memory circuits are this one here. Oh yeah, that's convenient. So that's putting on the right hand side of the belt there. These are putting on the right hand side here, but as that comes around the corner, that ends up actually being left in terms of the belt. So yep, they're on different sides, so that gets me two of the things off for that one. And I need to find out where to get lamps from. I've made lamps before, so I should be able to get that from somewhere. And capacitors. Capacitors are becoming a bit of a pain. I think the best place I can get them from right now is probably actually there. In fact, was it this one here that wanted them? Nope, that'd be too simple. Can I go from there to there? I think I can with the longer belt. Could go from there to there. These are capacitors on this belt because I've got the splitter there, so that will do for that. So lamps want iron sheets, graphite and glass, which is common with about nothing. Maybe I can kind of just squeeze it up here. So what I'm thinking is I can just take iron directly there. Then I can put the graphite and the glass on there from the bus. Keep saying graphite, I guess it should be graphite. So with the lamps made, I think I can bring the lamps down here. That will go on there. And I just need to find a way of getting this past, but actually this should be fairly straightforward. Yep, it is. So definitely not the tidiest layout. In fact, it's a very long way from being a tidy layout. Well, that is going to get me those once I have capacitors But I've got some compressors here to prove that works, so that works. And that, once I have memory units, let's get rid of that and some of those. But I actually did have memory units and things, I just hadn't got power on that inserter. So they now both work for sure. Guess I might actually want those as an individual thing. I think you can place these, let's just see. Yeah, so you can place these as... doesn't really provide much area, I guess it's just what it says, just to build robots. Not to build robots, to recharge robots, which, I don't know, might be useful at some point, I have to see. But what I'm going to do is just have one stack of each of them just in case in the box there. And finally onto the big one. This has been a lot of stuff coming. So storage boxes, where did I put those? I had them here, didn't I? Oh no, they're here, but if I make that a belt instead, that'll bring those across here. So if that was to be, say, here, that's convenient because that can actually get all those inputs. So that's going to give me some of those things straight away. Then I need belt 2s. Now they're going to be hard to make in this mod, aren't they? Because that's a whole bunch of stuff and there's a whole bunch more stuff. So that's over there. So I need to get from there over to here somehow. So yep, that is probably going to be challenging. That doesn't reach. But maybe I can do 2 shorter ones. Yep, I can do 2 shorter ones. So that does reach. Train stops I'll have to figure out in a second. Okay, I'll figure those out. That's more circuit, total disaster zone. But for now, let's just get these red belts out. So it looks like to me at the moment the red belts aren't in a... they're not being stored anywhere. So the only place I can see really to put a storage for them anyway at all is there. But getting out of that's going to be tricky. What I could do is make this pipe simpler. That gets that out of the way. So possibly that. I can't think of a better way. And I know I'm going to regret this. I'm going to have to move a whole bunch of stuff in a future episode because I know there's more miners and I can see now that this was a mistake. So train stop. So I can start by just taking these 2 things I've got around here. That's the wrong way around. So I need to get the lamps from here as well. So I guess that lack of planning, the best I'm going to get is that. I need steel sheets. Well, I don't think I've got steel. I can take it from over here. That's probably the best bet. So that would be a foundry somewhere around here to make those. And then antennas. Antennas are up here right now. Can I make these in the medium inserter? Yep, I can make them in the medium assembler. So that's going to make my life easier. It gives me extra space to put inserters. Specifically, I think if I move that there, move that there. If I make those underground, then I can bring the antennas down to there. And with that I have train stops, and with that I have roboports at last. So that was a huge amount of work, and a lot of it probably needs to be tidied up at some point, but I have now got it. Is this actually a 3x3 now? Different size, interesting. Anyway, so I'm just should be able to do the same thing I normally do, even though it's a different size. If I get some red wires, go from there to there to there. I think I managed to mess up something here though, so which one of these is messed up? This one here I think was supposed to be logistics. So let's just move some of those across. So if we do read robot statistics, that's T for construction, Y for logistics. So we're going to put a condition on here, going to go to there, put that on T, and I'm going to set that to, let's say 500 robots seems a good number. Probably 500 of each. And now I'll be able to control how many I want in the future. And so then the next task is going to be just basically putting these down so that all my stuff in that area has access to roboports. Which of course I never actually thought about it particularly, so I didn't leave space for the roboports at the time, but just like this place to slot them in. So that's going to be able to expand out that. And if I expand the robot coverage over the whole base, basically just doing the same thing, nothing particularly exciting there, just let the robots build it. So I have finally achieved the robots. I have all the parts automated for the robots themselves, as well as the actual robots to go to the robot network. So that's going to be available for next time. I think that's going to be a good place to take a pause today, so be sure to like, subscribe and tune into that.